YouTube, what's happening? It's your boy Bio back with another figure review. Today we'll be taking a look at the Marvel Select Black Widow figure. This is an old figure. I'm not exactly sure like what wave she was in or anything like that. I don't actually collect Marvel Select figures. This is my first Marvel Select figure, and the only reason I really picked her up was because I was at my friend Izzy. He put me onto this really cool store at the Buena Park Mall. It's called Geeky Mamas, and it's a super cool store. It's like a giant like warehouse type store, and they have like thousands of just old classic figures like Marvel Legends. Um, you know, I'm sure they have like Bandai. They've got like all types of just vintage style action figures in there. And so he and I went there maybe about like almost a month ago at this point. And so that was my first time being there, and I was just immediately taken away by how cool the store was. Like as soon as I walked in, there was just so many. It was crazy. Like there's a lot of figures in there that I was that I had been like recently looking up like online trying to find like older figures that I never got my hands on and wanted to do reviews on, and they actually had them, and I was like, wow, that's crazy. Like I was just looking at some of these guys trying to pick them up, and I saw her, and she was like in a glass case, and she was loose. She wasn't like in the package or anything. And I think I don't know, just something about seeing her loose. It kind of like she had like the price tag on her and everything, and it kind of just reminded me of being like a kid again, like at like the arcade, or maybe like round table pizza when they have like the glass case when you win prizes like with the tickets, and it tells you how many tickets it is. Just something about seeing her loose out there in the glass case, it took me back, man. I was like, man, this reminds me of being a kid. I could see all the toys in the glass case, and I thought she looked pretty good. As you can see, like the paint job on her and everything was pretty good. So I was like, I don't even have like a Black Widow figure in my collection, so why don't I, go ahead and pick her up? And she was pretty cheap. I think she was like 18.99 or something like that. So like under 20 bucks. I remember that. So, um, and for a Marvel Select, I think that's actually kind of cheap. So I was like, yeah, let me pick her up. The guy working the store was super cool. He was telling me and Izzy like an old stuff about a Deadpool comic. He was like really into, and he just kind of broke it down. Really cool guy. But yeah. Anyways, I'm rambling. But yeah, this is the Marvel Select Black Widow. She's a taller figure, which is another reason why I don't really collect Marvel Select figures. They're not really in scale with your typical Marvel Legends. She's man, I forgot my ruler, but if I had to guess, I would say she's probably around like the 7 inch mark. She definitely has some height over the figures that you'll see me compare with her at the end. But she still looks really cool, and I had to have her, so I was like, you know what, let's do it. She doesn't come with much, so this will be a pretty brief review. Just her articulation isn't anything special, but so this review will be pretty brief, but nevertheless, it had to be done. So here she is. So let's talk about. Matter of fact, let's just jump into articulation right away. So for her arm, she's got kind of like a hinge joint, and so she can lift it up actually pretty high. That's actually like pretty good. One of the things about Marvel Select figures is they tend to be lacking in articulation. They're kind of like they're more like posable statues, if you will. So typically, they're not going to have as good of articulation as like Marvel Legends and things like that. So, but her arm does go up pretty far, so that's cool. I like that a lot. Better than horizontal. So that's pretty cool. And then she can obviously get it down by her sides. Let's see, can she rotate? Yeah, she can rotate all the way around too. So that's pretty cool. Move my hand out the way. Let's see, I'll try it from this angle here so y'all can see. But she does have a nice windmill action going. She can swing her arm all the way, so that's really good. And then she has a single jointed elbow, so she gets about like a 90-degree bend at the elbow, which is pretty good. They tend to do that a lot for like the female figures. For some reason, they don't like giving them, double jointed elbows. So I don't know what that's about, but that's what they tend to do for like Marvel Legends and just Marvel Select other female figures in general. She can extend back out. She has a swivel in the hand, so she can swivel her hand all the way around. And is there a hinge? Doesn't appear to be a hinge in there, but I guess you can kind of move it a little bit up and down, but seems like it's not really on a hinge, so I guess it's not meant to do that. But yeah, arms down by her side. She doesn't have any torso articulation, as you can see. Just kind of a clean sculpt all the way down. Nothing to give her any like torso articulation. For the legs, let's see here. She can kick. Going forward, it kind of swings out to the side, so it's not a perfectly straight kick, but she can get about that high when you bring the leg up. And then going backwards, not a whole lot, and that's mostly because she just has a big ass. It's Black Widow, man. She's gotta have ass, right? So, I mean, there's that. And then swinging out to the side, she's actually pretty flexible going out to the side, as she should be. It's Black Widow, so she's very acrobatic and agile. So she looks like she can get basically a full splits. Let's try the other side. Yep, she can do the splits no problem. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. See, she is doing the splits, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that. So that's pretty cool. At least she has flexibility, a lot of flexibility and range going out to the side. A lot of Marvel Legends figures actually tend to lack in that area. And then for her head articulation, not much. She can't really look up or down. She's got her hair is sculpted. It's like a hard plastic, so it doesn't really allow her head to like go anywhere as far as looking up or down. I don't know if she's on a ball peg or what, but if she is, it's very stiff, so it doesn't really let her go up or down, unfortunately. But yeah, that's kind of unfortunate. That's kind of one of the things with these Marvel Select figures. She can, wiggle her head side to side, but the sculpt of the hair kind of runs into her shoulder, so she can't really do like a full 360 or anything like that. Can't get like a lot of attitude or anything in there, so about what you would expect from a Marvel Select. She does have double jointed knees. You can see that. You can bend the knee back about that far. So, decent enough. Pretty decent bend. I think they probably could have got like a little bit more out of that, but for what it is, not bad, not bad. And then for the boots, her boots, you can kick her feet pretty much all the way down, so that's good. She's got a hinge to kick the toe down. And then going up, she can kick it up that much. Hopefully, can you guys see that pretty good? Okay, there we go. Sorry about the lighting, but hopefully that's picking up. There you go. She can kick the foot up pretty good. She doesn't have any like swivel or ankle rocker. She can rotate. You can rotate the boot, all the way around from like the ankle, but that's pretty much it. She doesn't have like a swivel or anything like that. I think that's pretty much it, honestly, for articulation. Swinging the arms forward and back, not much. Like I said, she can go out to the side really good, but as far as like, moving like forward and back like that, she doesn't have like a whole lot of range. It's definitely not like a butterfly joint. It's just like a basic hinge. So, I mean, she can swing about that much, going forward and back, and give you a side view so you can see that better. So, it is what it is, but overall, it's still a really cool, just looking figure. That's the thing that drew me to this figure was how cool she looked. I really like the outfit. This is like I guess definitely a more comic style fit for her. Definitely not an MCU look. But overall, I really like the paint and detail on her. the purple metallic suit. That's kind of like a new look, at least for me. I'm not really used to seeing her in like a purple, an all purple outfit like that. So I thought that was pretty cool. The face sculpt itself, to be honest, you guys, kind of reminds me of Mary Jane from the Spider-Man series in the '90s. Like, tell me that face sculpt doesn't look kind of like that Mary Jane. How Mary Jane was drawn in the '90s Spider-Man. Like, I don't know, that's definitely giving me Mary Jane vibes. Like the red lipstick, the green eyes, the red hair, red eyebrows. Like, even like from the side, like look at the profile. That definitely gives me Mary Jane vibes. I think like you could, if you wanted, you could definitely do a Mary Jane custom figure or something like with the head of this. If you could find a way to like get the head off of this and maybe pop it onto like a Mary Jane body, I think this would definitely work for that. But yeah, overall, just like a really cool looking figure though. I like the overall paint work. Like it's pretty clean, man. She was kept in good condition, so you can see like the Black Widow logo on her belt. Some nice paint there. The black and the silver going around, the red for the hourglass. Very clean. Very nice, clean metallic purple for the suit. And obviously she sculpted very well. It's Black Widow, so of course she's got a little bit of cleavage showing there. Got the her shirt kind of zipped down a little bit, but you can see into there a little bit. And then the ass, they sculpted the ass, the gluteus maximus pretty well as well. So she's a nice curvy woman. So, but yeah, man, just a really dope figure overall. I liked it a lot when I saw it in the glass case. I was like, that's a pretty cool looking Black Widow, man. I dig it. So they got the nice metal straps for the boots and everything. So she's a cool looking figure. Not a whole lot to her, but what's here, I think it looks pretty cool. I just noticed she has this silver strap like on her leg, and it's only on her right leg. It actually isn't on her left, so that's kind of interesting. But yeah, and then she's got the gauntlets on her arms and everything, the gloves. You can see even her nails are like painted. They painted her nails red, which I think is a cool, nice touch. Give her a little femininity. Some nice red painted nails in there. So, but yeah, she just overall looks really good. I like the face sculpt and everything. Definitely on some Mary Jane vibes, like I said. But and the sculpt of the hair also looks pretty nice. Nice red hair, a little bit of shading in there, I want to say. So, you can see she's got a little bit of a black spot at the top of her head right there, but that's not bad. But yeah, overall, she just, she looks good. It's Black Widow, man. She gotta look good. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it. The only thing, she didn't really come with any accessories. Well, I take that back. She actually did come with a base that I don't have because they weren't selling her with the base. It was pretty much just her. She came with this like Ultron base. It was like a, what do you call it? It was basically just like the ground and stuff and like a bunch of battle damage. It was like basically like a battle damaged Ultron, kind of like laying down, and you could like see like the circuitry inside of him, and then there was like all this surrounding like debris and stuff around him. So it was actually a really cool looking base. Kind of wish I would have been able to get it, but they didn't have the base. It was pretty much just her. But she did also come with. I'll move her to the side here. She came with this tiny Ant Man. I thought that was pretty cool. Shrunken down version of comic Ant Man. So that's pretty cool. I don't even have a MCU Ant Man in my collection yet, but I look forward to getting him. And when I do, I'll show this guy off next to him so you can see like, even though this is a comic version, but I think it's cool to have a tiny little Ant Man toy. And the paint on him is very nice as well. You can see that. Like, look at that. The little silver paint for the mask and everything, the red for the outfit, the black going down, the black on the belt, a little silver in there, a little blue for the boots and everything, and his gloves. Tiny figure, but the paint is actually very clean. I'm actually amazed at how clean they can get the paint on smaller figures sometimes, but when it comes to the big figures, like it's like they're lacking. Like what happened? But yeah, just like a really cool tiny little Ant-Man. You can see he's got a little bit of red on under his leg. I mean red, blue spots under his legs right there. A little bit of a paint mishap, but not bad. Nice little Ant-Man, shrunken Ant-Man, Scott Lang coming at you. That's cool. So that was a cool little accessory that she came with. And I was kind of afraid I was gonna lose him, on the way home. But the guy gave me a bag, and I just kind of had him at the bottom of the bag. So, but yeah, and I put him with my accessories case, so he's still here, which is good. But yeah, that's pretty much it, man. Like I said, not a lot to talk about. She's a pretty cool looking figure. Not a whole lot of articulation because again, this is a Marvel Select, so she's more along the lines of like a statue. But the detail and everything on her, pretty freaking nice, man. I dig it. It's a really cool figure. And you can kind of also rotate the gauntlets on her wrist a little bit. Like you can kind of swivel them around. I don't know if they go 360, but you can kind of like mess with them and turn them a little bit. So that's a cool feature. But yeah, let's get into some size comparisons to finish it off, shall we? So first, we'll look at her next to a fellow Avenger. I'll back her up a little bit so we can get both in the frame. But here she is next to, let's see, make sure they're both in frame here. But here she is next to the Mark 6 Iron Man. And hopefully, trying to make sure he's kind of standing straight so you can get an accurate idea of the height between these two. But there you go. So you can see she's definitely got like quite a bit of height over him. It's even more apparent in person. Probably not as apparent in the shot, but in person you can see she's standing like a good, at least like an inch taller than him. So, and that, these older figures are like probably around like the 6 inch mark, maybe slightly bigger. So, I'm guessing that she would be like about 7 inches. I think that's about the scale that they typically do for Marvel Select. So there's how she looks with the Mark 6 Iron Man from the the Iron Man series by Hasbro. This was from the Mark 2 the Iron Man 2 movie. And I still, man, I gotta find a way to get that this Iron Man repainted, man. That the gold on his legs and everything, and the arms is fading. If anybody knows a good method for cleaning, here, I'll put him back in frame so y'all can see what I'm talking about. See how dingy his arms and legs got compared to like the face mask. If anybody knows a good method for cleaning the paint up and making it bright again, please let your boy know down in the comments below. I'd really appreciate it because I really like the gold to look nice and shiny like his mask again. That would be great. So if you have any painters out there, or people that are good with action figures and know how to apply paint or restore paint, please let your boy know in the comments below. I'd really appreciate it. And next up, we'll put her next to Stan Lee, the Marvel Stan Lee, who always has trouble standing, so for some reason, so I'm gonna kind of hold him. But yeah, you can kind of make out the height there. Just ignore my hand if you can. But yeah, she's definitely got quite a bit of height on him, about the same as she did with Iron Man. So that's that Marvel Legend Stan Lee. We'll put her next to the recently reviewed Shocker, Spider-Man Retrowave Shocker. And you can see the height between those two. And yeah, she's definitely, again, a lot of height on him. She's going to have about the same amount of height on just about all these figures that I show, because they're all Marvel Legends, so they're all around the same height. And let's try the new Storm Shadow. Let's see if I can get him to stand today. These little baby feet he got. Come on, Storm Shadow. Work for me, homie. Let's see. Yeah, he's always a tricky one. Okay, I think I got him. See here. Man, it's so hard with him, man. He does not want to stand. He's just a tough figure to get to stand, man. It's kind of annoying, but anyways, I'm just gonna hold him, but you can kind of make out the height between those two. Again, she's got like a lot of height on him as well. But yeah, there's those two. Man, it's annoying, bro, having to hold them. That's, one of the things that Hasbro needs to work on with some of those figures. They're not able to stand very well, which is kind of frustrating. But here she is next to Claire Temple from the Netflix Luke Cage 2-pack. So you can see the height difference between those two. Again, very great. She has quite a bit of height over her, but I think they look pretty cool. Let me back her up just a little bit so she can be, there you go, more in line with her. But yeah, there's those two. Hopefully you guys see. Try to get some more. Make sure there's plenty of light in here. But yeah, there's how those two look together. So yeah, man, she's a tall figure. Definitely bigger than most of the figures that I'm used to collecting. But she's kind of a standalone figure in that regard. But still, she's cool. Pretty cool figure. I dig her for sure. Like, again, I love the paint work. I love the sculpt. I think they did an amazing job with that. I don't really have any complaints with her because I already knew what I was, expecting going in. I knew the articulation was going to be, pretty much what it was. It actually surprised me. She actually had more than I thought she was going to have. So, that was kind of cool. But, I wasn't expecting that. So that's cool. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Marvel Select Black Widow figure. I've only seen like one other review of her on YouTube, and it was from Shardimus Prime. He did it like years and years ago, like back when his camera setting, his like, I think he was still recording with his phone back then, because you can tell the settings were like a lot lower in quality, but you gotta start somewhere, right? My boy came up, so he been putting that work in. But yeah, and you can just kind of notice right here, like I noticed on this hand, the paint for her hand, like right there in between the gloves, is like kind of faded compared to the one on her left hand. See how much like brighter it is on her left hand compared to the right. Like the paint's kind of started to fade on her hand, but that's a minor gripe. Nothing to really complain about. But yeah, so she's a cool figure, man. I definitely recommend her if you can find her. She's pretty old at this point. Like I said, I probably never would have picked her up if I hadn't gone to that Geeky Mamas store at the Buena Park Mall. And so, thank you, Izzy, again. Shout out to my boy Izzy for putting me on to that place. It's such a cool place, man. You guys got to check it out if you're in the area. Definitely go by there. They've got like awesome figures, like old classic style action figures that you'll never find in any typical store today. So, odds are they won't be cheap though. I will say that, but you gotta you gotta pay for what you want. Higher quality, typically higher pay, but sometimes you get lucky. So yeah, there it is. That's my review of the Marvel Select Black Widow. Hope you guys enjoyed. Appreciate you for watching. Again, if you're rocking with the channel, man, please drop in the comments down below. Hashtag KTAG, hashtag KTAG, all caps. That stands for keep the action going, because that's what we do on this channel, right? So, it's been a pleasure. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see y'all in the next video, man. Peace out. It's your boy Bio.